Hello, I'm Aaron Todd.
Hey everybody, back with part 3 of this bert refurb. I'm just going to show some random stuff. I've actually already got most of it together, but we're going to go back in time and show you a little bit of this, a little bit of that, some monitor stuff, some random crap, I guess. Alright, I got it in the basement here. Finished cleaning it up and everything, so still need to get this probably lock bar out right there. It's all cleaned up for the most part. This control panel is dented a little bit, but I'm pretty sure I have a reproduction from Takeman that's not built, bent up and stuff. I just don't know if I have the control panel overlay. And then I went and dug out my bert box. So I have a couple more keys, it looks like, and at least the bezel is in there, but I don't know if there's more. That's from Phoenix Arcade, I'm sure. So there we go. This wide angle is like kind of messed up, but it doesn't look, I mean, in a row, you're not going to notice it. Come from that side there. Yeah, I didn't paint this. I probably could have sanded it and stuff, and I was tempted to because I did end up working on this back a little bit. It was split right here, and that's like, you can see it's kind of like still jacked up a little bit right there, all the way down. But I pressed it together. I stapled that thing in there, put a ton of staples in there, cleaned out the inside as best I could. So for the most part, it's better. And then I, sanded down here and painted this thing. It's still not perfect, but at least it'll be sealed and somewhat better. I put a little bit of Bondo on the bottom, but not much, because I'm trying to get it done. Oh yeah, and I was able to get this back in there, this little cross brace in there. There's a little bit of a gap there, but it's in there. I glued it all back together, and I think I stapled it or something, and then I might actually reinforce it, but it's pretty sturdy, and this thing's sturdy too. Like before, that thing was moving a lot. I can't even move it now, so I cleaned these up, except for not the bolts, but cleaned the hinges up. I'm still working on the back door. What else was I going to show? Got these little pieces back in there. I don't know what they're for, but there, clean that up. You can see there's a little bit of staples there. I glued it and then I stapled it, but then I used a punch and recessed it. Now I could put some wood putty on there, but I don't think you're going to see that, so I'm not worried about it. All right, let's get this thing back together. I just wanted to show a little bit of before. Now I'm going to put everything back in. Alright, I figured I would disassemble this bert joystick so we could refurbish it. I do have this. If I got this from Arcade Shop or what, it's a new grommet E-ring clip and a donut grommet there as well. So I've already taken this mostly apart, just to take the switches out. I labeled them so I know what kind of positions they need to go into, but just take this off. I might speed this up instead of talking. We'll see. As you can see there. Now this rubber donut is like that, and then this washer goes there, and then where's my little thing at? Right here. This little thing right here is, there's a space for it to go in. I've already removed it, but this washer definitely goes in. I'll link to another person's video up here where he didn't put this washer back on. I mentioned that it definitely is part of it. There's the washer, the grommet like that. This one's actually in pretty good shape. And then you can kind of see the little E-clip location. Then you can work out the joystick. Now this is the other thing is I'm not sure about. I've seen some pictures where it has the metal washer facing up, but I believe it should be black facing up, metal washer facing down. I'm gonna have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure it goes in this way, like that. That looks right to me for some reason. Then you can kind of just need to push out this grommet right here. You can also work this out. This is a base mounting plate right here that just slides into it like that, and then you get this part out. So I need to work this out here, kind of just push it out. There you go. That one actually, that's what I'm saying. This one is actually in pretty good shape. If we want to see like how much wear is on it, not too bad really. I mean, there's not a lot of space around it. I would say this is in pretty good shape, but we need to clean that up, get the rust off of it. I mean, I've seen a lot worse. The other thing is I have some other options here. This one is, as you can see here, this is an original Q*bert joystick, and I think you should be able to see STC Rotterdam right there. This is a very similar joystick, but different actuator type. The ball is definitely bigger, as you can see there, than the Q*bert joystick. It has a tapered joystick handle versus the straight of the Q*bert. And this one is actually made by Coin Controls. Hopefully you guys can see that. Is that upside right? No, that was upside down. There you go, right there. And but it's very similar. I mean, if you had to, you could definitely use something like this in a Q*bert joystick. Very similar, you know, different actuator type. This is also, I think, an 8-way, or they squared it out or something, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it is a 4-way. It is square. It's not round. Yeah, it's not 8-way, it's 4-way. All right, but anyway, that's one example. And then I also have this one, which is again very similar stick design, tapered, round ball, but this is an STC Rotterdam, but it doesn't have the mounting plate, but it does have the same, you know, grommet style, but it's missing, you know, probably the E-clip that holds it in. I don't even see a place for the E-clip to get held in, which is kind of weird. How's that work? Definitely doesn't have the washer on top, so it's missing some parts. And I don't know how's this stick? Maybe this is the wrong stick because there's no notch to actually for an E-clip. Like, how would it be held in? Okay, yeah, this is it. Whew, almost got mixed up. Yeah, weird. No actuator. It's definitely different. It's missing some different pieces. It can't be the same as this one, obviously, that has a little groove for that E-clip to be held in there. Interesting. I just wanted to show those because a lot of times people are looking for these Q*bert original sticks. Alright, let's try to get this thing back together. I cleaned it up as best I could. Well, maybe not as best I could, but we're going to stick the new grommet in there. Or, I don't know, is it grommet? What the heck is this thing called? Got to get it all the way in there, which is kind of tough. There, oh yeah. Let's put it down. It's not all the way in there. That's getting there. All right. Now what? Stick this on there. Like that. I had it marked so it would go back exactly how it came, sort of, or close anyway. And then you put that on like that. Oh, actually, I can't do that yet. What the hell? I gotta stick the gotta put the ball back in. I cleaned it up with a with my wire wheel and polished it with some sandpaper and wet sanded it and stuff. Now all that time I spent pushing that grommet in there, probably gonna push it out. Maybe need to add some soap. Because that thing is tight, man. I mean, the hole is definitely smaller than the stick. I wonder if I'll put a little bit of liquid dish soap on there. All right, a little bit, just a tiny bit of liquid dish soap. See if that'll help. There we go. Oh crap, I forgot. I need to put this on there, and I'm pretty sure this does go with the metal washer facing up. Like that, right? I have a feeling I'm going to have to take this thing back apart. But I think it does, because I've seen pictures, and I think I even went back and watched my own video, and I think it had the metal washer facing up. Alright. Hopefully that's still in there good. Now we want to use our new little donut. And our washer. And our new E-ring, which could be pretty hard to get in there. Let's see here. Damn. Kind of trying to press down on the washer at the same time. Then make sure it actually gets in the groove. Gotta take off my damn glasses. Is that in there? I think it is. Well, I got it even better. Oh my gosh, that thing is stiff. That thing is stiff. Put that on. You know, I didn't even clean this little actuator thing. But it's on there now. It's plastic. I don't know if I could probably just, you know, wet sand it with like 2000 or 1000 grit, but it's not a big deal. I think I'm just going to leave it like it is. Now I have no idea which side this goes on. And then the screws go in. Yep, I think we're good. Definitely way stiffer. I might actually keep this one because it was actually broken in and it's not in really bad shape. I don't know. We'll see how it plays with the new one in it. Alright, getting it back together. It's not perfect by any means. Still need to fix that lock bolt hole there. I'm a little out of breath. I've been scrambling to put this back together, but joystick is in there. I don't know if it's wired up correctly. There's a slight bend in this control panel. I think I have a replacement control panel and overlay. I'm not sure. Went ahead and used the original bezel. I just cleaned it up. Looks like there's a scratch. Yeah, I'll probably replace that. There's a scratch there. It's missing a ton of, flaking on the backside and stuff like that. Haven't really messed with too much. I did paint this right here. Did not paint the top. Let's see here. Trying to cover the interesting parts. Got the back door on. This was all, this conductive back panel was all rusted, so waterlogged and stuff, so I cut it, and so not all of it doesn't go all the way down to the bottom. I gotta check to see if this board actually had a ground strap on it or not. I don't think it did, but yeah, it probably makes sense that it didn't, because only this filter board is actually grounded right here. And then I need to fix that. That's to the ground for the video cable board. And let's see. I didn't actually clean these bolts right there, but most of the bolts I did de-rust and tumble and stuff, and cleaned up the hinges. I also cleaned up the back here. It's not perfect because there's still some water logging marks, but I cleaned the bottom right there. If you can see it, it was all frayed and stuff. I sanded it, wood hardener, Bondo. The back actually looks better than most parts of the cabinet. I fixed the back door. It was also, well, it's kind of close. It was also kind of messed up, as an example, but just this part down here was all jacked up. Clean that up. I really do like the way they have a door adjuster here, because a lot of these back doors never close snug enough to actually trip the interlock switch. So it's nice that you can adjust this. I probably should have taken this off and put it to the wire wheel a little bit, but whatever. I haven't messed with the monitor yet. I'm just interested to see if this thing fires up after. Let's see. Everything's inside. I mean, much better. It's, again, not perfect, but it's all wired back up. And for the most part, I don't have too many leftover screws. And I am about to power it up with you guys for the first time since getting it all back into the cabinet. Let's see. Oh, shit. I didn't hook up the power switch. Well, let's see if it powers on.
Hello, I'm very bad.
There we go. You can see, because I don't have a bezel, a monitor surround around it, so you can actually see the circuit boards and the power supply. Look how close it is to the monitor. It's kind of crazy, right? But usually there's a monitor surround that would be on that. The monitor is a little bit crooked. Let me adjust the sound here. There we go. The monitor is like a little bit more to the left on the bezel, but I don't see how I can adjust that. I mean, it's kind of just crooked for some reason. I don't think it's the cabinet. I mean, could be the monitor frame. I have no idea. But it's working. Bam! All right, like I said, only filming the interesting parts. I decided to pull the monitor because it did look crooked in there. And I noticed, I don't know if you guys can see that, but this frame is bent here. The tube is actually kind of like sitting in there crooked. You know what I mean? It's like that a little bit. So I think I'm going to take the tube out of the frame. And then there's also a little, part that needs to be straightened there, so I can straighten the frame the best I can, and then at least get the tube in the damn frame straight, because I think that's part of the problem. I'm also going to put this on my CR7000. I was going to do a CR7000 CR70 comparison, but I don't want to spend the time to do that, so I'll just show you the results of the CR7000, and I'll do a cap kit. I doubt I'll film that, and we'll come back. All right, got the tube on the bench here with my CR7000. I've done this at least 10 or 15 times on video, but 19 VLTP22. Look that up in the book. 19 VLTP22, socket 1, video 2, 132 negative bias, 6.3 heater voltage, and that's all you need to know. Got it plugged in, and I will put this on a tripod here real quick. Let's try this here. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. Turn your power on, change it to filament voltage. We'll turn all those down counterclockwise. Those are cutoff levels. I'm going to let it heat up just a little bit. While I do that, I'll enjoy a little bit of whiskey. All right. All right, 6.3 heater voltage. It's almost always that, so I never have to change it. I just have to let it heat it up. I have a socket 1 already connected. We need to change this to video 2, negative 132 bias, and we're going to go to G1 short. Looks good. Now, we already saw this too, but we know it's pretty good. The only thing I saw was like the blue was a little bit off. The blue might be a little bit stronger gun when we look at this. HK short, got simultaneous, nothing, looks good. All right, cutoff low tracking. All right, so what we do here is we adjust our cutoff levels until we get into the cutoff zone. And that blue gun is definitely strong. And the green gun is strong. I mean, this thing only had like 13,000 plays. It had a little bit of screen burn on it, but I don't know. I would expect this tube to be in great shape. The red gun's a little bit weaker than the rest. But we do get them into the cutoff. So they can be adjusted into the cutoff zone, which means basically that's the just enough electrons are emitting and making it through the grid at this point. I mean, this is just measuring voltage, obviously, but the idea here is that at this voltage level, it's a dark screen. It's, you know, the picture is black, basically. And so you want to make sure that the guns can actually be cut off. But when they're jumping around like this, it kind of indicates that they could use some cleaning a little bit. But let's go to high emissions now. That looks pretty good. Blue is not as good as the green. And again, we're at negative 132 bias. So what we're doing is setting really the G2 voltage based off of a negative 132 G1. You're setting the G2 voltage, and that's in the cutoff zone. And now I basically take the G2 voltage, drop it to 0, and see what it is. I mean, I take the, when you go to emissions high tracking, you're taking the negative bias and dropping it to 0 so that it's basically full electrons, full guns, you know, going, basically. I know I'm not describing it 100% right, but anyway, that looks good. And if we do our emission test, you want to count to 10 and make sure it doesn't go below bad. So this you know, tube is fine. I am going to go ahead and just reactivate each gun. So we're going to do red first right here, reactivate, and just see if we can just, you know, clean them up a little bit. This is, I think, 30 seconds, I think, of like 10, I don't know, micro, or like, I don't know, something. What does it say? Does it say on my paper? 1 milliamp at 30 seconds. So I'll come back. I'll pause. All right, I went through all 3 guns, did a reactivate, 30 seconds, 1 milliamp. I think they say it's about the same as a all white screen. But I wanted you to take a reference here of where the red, green, and blue guns were with the cutoff. The fact that red was turned almost all the way up means that it was probably the weaker of all the guns. And then green and then blue. And we kind of saw that in the game because blue, the background was a little bit more blue than black. So that makes sense. But now that we reactivated everything, I'm going to let the guns cool down, and then I'm going to come back in about 5 or 10 minutes and then retest. All right, it's been long enough where I've had time to actually straighten out the frame here. So let's go ahead and go to G1 shorts. It looks good. HK, all good. Cutoff low tracking. Green, we get to turn down just a little bit more, so green's a little bit better than it was before. And they're not jumping around as much, it seems. But red, see, red is not 100% good. I think we might need to hit red with a low rejuve to try to bring that back a little bit. See, I can't get red into the cutoff anymore. Now, if I go to our extended cutoff test, drop the negative bias to 116, then let's see if I can still get all of them into the cutoff. Definitely a lot more stable. But cutoff is bad, and my red is the highest gun, and that tells me that red needs to get restored. So we're going to go low, which is 40 milliamps. And that's it. We'll come back. Filament volts still good. G1 short, HK short, cutoff low tracking. Let's go back to 132. Still can't get red in the cutoff there. We can hit red a little bit harder as long as we still can get it in the cutoff with our extended test at 116. We don't want to get it worse, basically, is where we're at with it right now. All right, let's go ahead and hit red with a normal restore. Okay, that was it. It's just one time. Normal is supposed to be 2 cycles. There's 1. Oh, I hit it on low again. Duh. Alright. We'll hit it with normal. There we go. Alright, let's go back to our filament volts. We might need to let the guns cool to get the most accurate reading, because it might read artificially high if the gun's really heated up here. Yeah, see, our guns actually looks like our red is getting worse. Let me go ahead and let the guns cool off a little bit and come back. Alright, I went through another cycle of reactivate, and I'm at negative 132 bias, and my cutoff is still bad, and red is still the worst gun. Emissions looks great though. So I'm going to go ahead and probably hit the red gun on high. And as long, you know, you can keep progressing as long as the gun's not getting worse, right? Like with our extended cutoff test, we can keep progressing and hitting it a little bit harder, a little bit harder. So let's go ahead. High is 3 cycles, 100 milliamps. Some of these restore functions boost the heater voltage. That's why after you do a restore or reactivate, I don't know which one it is, there's like 2 of the tests that boost the heater voltage. You want to probably, you know, just let the guns cool down, Go ahead and turn it off if you want to, or just keep it at 6.3 volts, but let the guns cool down and then come back and retest. All right. Oh my gosh, I got the music on, whatever. All right, let's do this. Looks like the high might have done it. It's looking good at -132. I let the guns cool off and everything. It's jumping around a little bit. We might want to reactivate it because it's kind of jumpy, whereas the other guns aren't. Mission still looks good. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like, we could hit the blue and green guns, but I'm not going to because they look fine. But I mean, that really helped the red. Let me go ahead and reactivate the red and just see if that helps here real quick. Helps that little bit of jumpiness when we're doing the low cutoff test. Cutoff low tracking, I should say. I like filming these because they're so different every time. Like, you kind of just have to get almost like a feel for it, I think. You know what I mean? Like, obviously read the directions, understand what the restoration tube testers are doing, but once you kind of understand what it's doing, you kind of like have to just keep playing with it. And the extended cutoff test really will be your warning of whether you shouldn't be hitting the gun anymore. You know what I mean? Like, if you're at risk of burning off too much of the material to emit the electrons. But yeah, I mean, see that low cutoff test really calmed that thing down. Now it's really stable, right? And I'm in the good cutoff with -132 bias, which is the top, tube specs from a manufacturer standpoint, which is good. Emission looks fantastic. Yeah. I mean, there's great emission life on that red gun. So hitting it a little bit harder obviously was fine, and I didn't do that to the green and blue gun, but that's okay. They look good. Yeah, see my low tracking here. Still is probably good. I just have to, the guns are getting heated up and stuff, so they're emitting a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Boom. Rock solid on a low cutoff tracking test. Go back to the emissions. Looks good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're still in the green. This tube is going to look fantastic in the game. So that's it for this. All right, unfortunately, I didn't have a cap kit, damn it. And I looked to build my own cap kit, but I couldn't. But the straightening of the frame definitely worked out. Like, that thing is, I don't know if you can get it more dead center. So I just have it kind of test fitted in there. I'm going to tighten it down. And the other thing that I wanted to mention was I wasn't sure if this glass smoked bezel, whatever. It's not a bezel, is it? I guess it is a bezel. It's another bezel. The smoked little bezel there was original, but it is. A lot of these Q*berts don't have the smoked bezel, and so that goes underneath that glass right there, which is kind of crazy. So I have to clean that up. I am probably going to go ahead and put in the other, because there's a big scratch right here. I don't know if you can see it. There you go, right there. Couple of scratches right there on that bezel. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the reproduction, but I will clean up that one. Hopefully that's not scratched up. It was underneath the glass, so it should be okay. And put the little monitor surround there. Oh, man. Still going. Oh, and I got some other issue with the coin door that I'll show you in a second. All right, I kind of tried to staple this thing, and the plastic monitor surround is so brittle that it just cracked. But what I'm doing is, instead of trying to lay it on top like this, because it's barely long enough, I'm just laying the bottom on the ledge here and then pushing it up against that thing up top there, and then I'm going to tape it. So right there basically is what I'm going to do, and then tape it with some blue tape, but that'll be covered up. All right, there we go. So yeah, I'm just putting some tape there. That'll hold it in place, you know, good enough, and it's right against the monitor there. So leave it like that. Put this, clean that up, put it on, and let's put the new bezel on. All right, yeah, that looks way better. That's the Phoenix Arcade reproduction there. Looks really good, tinted. It looks lighter actually in the camera. It's super dark here with the smoked bezel underneath of it. So I'm not gonna move it. It's in there now, so it's looking good. Put the control panel in. Oh yeah, I gotta show you the messed up with the coin door stuff. All right, so I wasn't able to get the coins to register or the coin lights to come on. So I went to look at the connector, and if you, oh man, can you see that? Oh yeah, there you go. I mean, look at that corrosion on those pins. So I need to clean that up. I might just clean it up with some vinegar. I don't know if I want to remove the whole pins or not and repin it or not, because I bet I can clean that off. All right, I got it powered on. I fixed that a little bit, cleaned it with some vinegar, then washed it down with some water, blow dried it, deoxed it, and the coin switch is definitely working, but the coin door lights might be burned out. I haven't even measured that yet. But one thing I was going to say is, oh my God, that's loud. All right, so it looks okay, I guess here. You can see that light in the back, but whatever. I have the pots centered. The green and blue drive are centered, and then the cutoff green RGB are all turned fully clockwise. And I haven't adjusted the monitor at all. Just from doing that tube restore, that blue on a black screen went away. Like you see it blue now, obviously, and it's brighter in the camera. But yeah, like look at that. I don't know if you all can see it in the camera, but I mean, it's like the blacks are completely black, and I haven't even adjusted it. The guns are like perfect. So yeah, my volume pot needs a little bit of deoxit too, probably. All right, cool. I'm getting excited. We need to play a game, I think. I guess the lights are working. I don't know. Maybe it just took a while for the deoxit to work, but the coin door lights are working too, so that's nice. Look. Yeah, I mean, I really should repin that connector with that corrosion on it, but whatever. I'm going to do it the cheap, dirty way. All right, we'll play a quick game. I've only played it a few times just to test some stuff, but everything seems to be working fine. And I adjusted the monitor so it kind of lined up with the previous burn that was on the screen. So I adjusted the height so that it was basically wider on this vertical side. That pot is a little messy. And then I also adjusted the horizontal shift to shift it upwards because again it's a vertical monitor, but no need to do any adjustments really. I mean, the blacks are as black as can be, and I mean the colors are perfect, and I just have things, again, the drive completely centered and all the cutoff pots turned fully counterclockwise. I haven't done any adjustment with the flyback or anything. Haven't even touched it. I also have it on free play. And one thing I noticed is it's not saving scores, even though I did a battery. Oh crap! I suck at this game, so I have no idea. Like, when I was a kid and played this thing, it was too hard, and so I never played it as a kid. So this is really like the first time I'm going to be able to log some. Oh crap! Log some serious time on it. You know what I mean? Because I don't typically play this when I go to arcades. You Yeah, usually I'm playing pinball probably. Ah, crap. Died. Yeah, see, and I was, I don't know, I'm going to have to troubleshoot, so there'll probably be a part 4 of me wrapping up some other stuff. Hopefully this is coming out okay on the video. But I'm just going to show a few things that work, like the knocker. That's pretty nice, right? I mean, that is nice and loud. And somebody on my previous video said that that flash of the screen when you hit the saucer is normal. So obviously I did not know that. That shows you how little I know about this game. But I'm excited to have it working in my basement. And it's working great. I mean, I barely had to do anything with it. So, alright guys, that's it for this video of Q*bert. Phoenix Arcade did the bezel and the marquee and maybe the CPO, but I have to still look for that. So, I got some more stuff to do on this, but it's not going to be right away. I'm going to go ahead and leave it like it is and just work on the little things as needed. So that's it, guys. Cheers.